you should obey me. If you don't obey me, then I will make this child that you have, I will make him have 2 horns, like the horns of a deer, and as a result of that, it will pierce your stomach, and I will do this and I will do that. So basically, he was trying to scare them. He was trying to scare them, and he was saying to them, you should name him Abdul Harith. Right? So he was trying to force them to give the child a name, Abdul Harith, and he was trying to scare them to do this. However, Adam and Hawa, they refused. They didn't accept. And so when this child was born, this child was actually, it was actually dead. When the child was born, it was dead. So then a second time, Hawa became pregnant again, a second time, then Iblis, he came to them again. And then this time, instead of trying to scare them, he made them to love this child that they were going to have, to love this child. So the first time he came from the angle of fear, well, this time he came from the angle of love, making them love the child. And so as a result of this, he made them call the child Abdul Harith. So when they did this, when they called the child Abdul Harith, this is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he revealed this verse. He just meant, this is what Allah refers to when he mentions in this verse, جَعَلَ لَهُ شُرَكَاءَ فِي مَا آتَاهُمَا, that they make for him partners in that which he has given to them. And concerning this narration, the Shaykh then goes on to explain. He says that in this narration that Iblis came to them and he said to them that I am your companion who expelled you from paradise. And this is referring to the story that Allah has mentioned in the Quran when Iblis came to them and he whispered to Adam, and in relation to something that Allah had prohibited them from eating from a tree in paradise. And then Shaitan came to them and he misguided them and he tried to beautify things for them, and then he made them to eat from this tree. And so Adam disobeyed his Lord and he ate from this tree, and then this is what happened. They were then expelled from paradise and they were sent down upon the earth. And after this, we know that Adam and Hawa, they repented to Allah, and Allah turned back to them and accepted their repentance. So this is what Iblis was referring to. And then he said to them that if you don't obey me, I will make this child have 2 horns like a deer, and as a result of which it will pierce your stomach. And in this manner he was trying to just scare them. He was trying to say things to scare them and to be scared, and he was trying to threaten them and so on and so forth. But in this instance they didn't listen to him and they didn't obey him. So then what happened is that the child, when it was born, it was actually already dead, and this was just like a trial and a tribulation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for Adam and Hawa. And then Hawa became pregnant the second time, and then again Iblis came to them, and he tried again to misguide them. Well, this is how Iblis is. He never gives up. He always comes back again and again and again and again. So this time, instead of, as the Shaykh says, he made them to have this love of their child, and as a result of which he eventually made them give him a name of Abdul Harith. Abdul Harith. Now the Shaykh says that it's been said that Al-Harith was the name of Iblis. It used to be the name of Iblis before Allah cursed him, before Allah put the la'na upon him. Right? That his name was Al-Harith. But after Allah cursed him, and after he was expelled from wherever he was expelled from the ranks present with Allah, after this he was called Iblis. After this he was called Iblis. So in other words, he made Adam and Hawa call their child Abdul Harith. So then this is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he then mentioned this verse, جَعَلَ لَهُ شُرَكَاءَ فِي مَا آتَاهُمَا, that they made for him partners in that which he gave to them. And then Shaykh al-Islam, he mentions another narration from Qatada. Qatada explains this verse. He says, شُرَكَاءَ فِي طَاعَتِهِ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ فِي عِبَادَتِهِ. شُرَكَاءَ فِي طَاعَتِهِ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ فِي عِبَادَتِهِ. Meaning that they set up partners for Allah in the aspect of obedience, not in the aspect of worship. right? In the aspect of obedience, not in the aspect of worship. And so again, the Shaykh comments, he says, there's a difference here. There is the shirk-ut-ta'ah, and which here is minor shirk. Shirk-ut-ta'ah here is minor shirk. The shirk of obedience here is minor shirk, which doesn't expel from the fold of Islam. Especially when the Shaykh says that Adam and Hawa, that they didn't do this deliberately intending to fall into shirk-ut-ta'ah. They just did what they did out of the love for their child. That's what they did. And they did it because, in order for him to ensure that he would be safe. And despite all of this, Allah still labeled this as shirk. So this is still shirk, even if a person doesn't actually intend it like that. And the Shaykh says that this itself proves and shows that a person who speaks with shirk, or he does an action of shirk, then we still call him mushrik. Even if he didn't actually intend the action, even if he didn't desire it or intend it, because his intent to desire the action doesn't actually count. We still judge upon him that he did this action, which is shirk, irrespective of whether we're referring to Shirkul Asghar or Shirkul Akbar. And this is why, if we remember back in a previous lesson, in a previous chapter in this book, when a man came to the Messenger ﷺ and he said to him, Ma sha'Allah wa shi'at. Ma sha'Allah wa shi'at. Whatever Allah willed and what you willed. And so the Messenger ﷺ said to this man, Aja'altani lillahi nidda. Aja'altani lillahi nidda. That have you made me as a partner or a rival with Allah? So this person who made the statement, Ma sha'Allah wa shi'at, he didn't intend to set up the Messenger as a rival for Allah. He didn't intend this meaning at all. However, this wording itself isn't permissible, and for this reason it's still considered shirk, even if a person didn't actually intend its meaning. The Shaykh says, and how would it be if he actually did intend its meaning? So this shows, the Shaykh says that this is a refutation of the people who say that anyone who speaks a word of shirk or does an action of shirk, then we can't judge upon him that he is a mushrik up until we know that he believed that thing in his heart. This is wrong, and this is from the statements of the Murji'ah of this time. And then Shaykh al-Islam, he brings another narration, and this is from Mujaddid, who said regarding this verse, when they said لَإِنْ آتَيْتَنَا صَالِحًا, that this is when Adam and Hawa, when they made the supplication, if you give to us a righteous child, Mujaddid said that they were basically fearing that this child that they were going to have might not be a human. Right? Obviously because of the fear that Iblis was trying to put into them, and so they feared that this child might not be a human, and for this reason they were making the supplication to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this narration here, this explanation, is also being narrated from Al-Hasan and Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib, Al-Hasan al-Basri and Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib. So the Shaykh says, the Shaykh then comments upon this narration. He says that, meaning that Adam and Hawa, they feared that this child might not be human, and this meaning is being narrated from Mujaddid and Al-Hasan is Al-Hasan al-Basri, and Sa'id, which is Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib. And these two, Al-Hasan al-Basri and Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib, are two great scholars from the Tabi'een, from the generation after the Sahaba. They are two great scholars. And they narrated this, and likewise this meaning here of this verse is the same meaning that has been narrated from many of the other Mufassirin, like Ash-Shawkani in Fathul Qadir, and likewise Ibn Jarir al-Tabari, likewise he narrated this meaning as well, and others. And likewise the scholars that the Shaykh mentions, they've also preferred this explanation. Shaykh al-Islam Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab, and likewise Sulaiman bin Abdullah and others who came after the time of Shaykh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab, that they all accepted this as being the tafsir of this verse, meaning that it's in relation to Adam and Hawa. However, there are some scholars, or there are some people, some of the Mufassirin, who didn't accept this view, and they said that this doesn't refer to Adam and Hawa, but rather it refers to the mushrikeen,